the plants, they grow and they burst from that seed, they grow. And then they flower. And they're just transforming, giving into this seed of itself. It's just extending, its life and giving and giving and giving. And so you have to stop sometimes and just think on it. What is that feeling that you feel when it's like this message that I text? I sent a video on Facebook that I got off of YouTube, and it was very knowledgeable. It's about self and being and things kept from us so we could just be pissed off. But I guess there's sacrifices needed in knowing that certain things had to be given to taken on, to carry on. And there's sacrifices, But it's this sacred oil that's inside all of us. Just what can be said to this sacred oil that's inside of all of us, and how we've been misled. Very few, there must be some that know, but they just keep it within their family trees and lines, and that's the controllers. And then they get a little off, their offsprings get a little off with tainted this and that, because they weren't reared exactly like from the beginnings. So they lose and they forget about those failings, and they forget about faith, and we're just playing a game. What can you do today, Well, let's see if we can stir up some action over here, because on my count, it's getting in the low trillions, and I don't appreciate. I don't. If it's at least 15 trillion, I'm kind of okay. If it gets drifting around 12 or so, it's like I just don't like that feeling. It's like I don't want to be poor. So let's get this war going here, and I have these guys in the factories and working and creating, and we'll make some stuff, and then we'll finance it. And then the guys over there, they're not going to have very much either. So, I can finance that also. I'm enough. I mean, the trillions, but I'm not going to get below, because this always works out so well, blasting and booming and bombing. But now we're getting to a point of this is taking a whole bunch out, the whole Earth. Like, remember Mars? Look at it now. It was a beautiful flowing well of life, full of gold and minerals and gems and all kinds of stuff, who knows? My goodness, it's so back when. But they destroyed it after a time, and the Earth is like, for what we know, it's the last remnant of this solar system where we can exist. And if these crazies go off and want to destroy, but it's simply by taking too much, taking all the oil out of the earth. It's like it's blood, it's life, it's veins outflowing, because it can come up and out. But boy, we see that, we go, suck it up, let's make some gasoline. Well, that gets to be a time when the earth is something's coming, something's going on. Maybe it's that chariot they spoke of, that fiery chariot, he's coming in. And it's not going to be like a pretty picture, the heavenly hosts in a fiery chariot riding it, however ignition system works in the thing, and it's whooshing by. It's not a being at all. It's like human being. It's a being of this light and energy that flies in this optical path around our sun. Is like a binary, but it's quite dwarfed because our sun is so brilliant. It's what gives us our love and our life and all these things. And every once in a while this comes around and checks up and that up, and there's a story where there's life there where they need the gold to survive. So I guess we just bug up the next mission of their gold. Let China put their hooks into it, you know. I'll put something in there to when they take off and go, and they shoot this gold up in the air. Well, it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's like, you know, the chemtrails are putting up here, but it's not really doing what it's supposed to be doing. We're still catching it. And yeah, there's cover up also. But that's this life in this world. But don't get me started about God, because when you have a thought and you see it and you go in to it and you feel it and you live it and you be it. And it's like good things. It's not in any other kind of sense outside of becoming, you know, a more holier person, to where all this filth just naturally will dissipate and just disappear. Wow. And it's just through faith in behaving. And look what it's done to me. Wow. These thoughts and these writings, like futuristic things and thoughts, and it just keeps going. Several years now, it's just more precise and down to it. But that vid, if you all watch and pay attention, it's like it leads you, and there's something else, and it's right inside of us. Right inside of us. And there's a path that it travels. And all that writing, it just, there's a quiz in there or a test, and you can see it, but it has to be covered up because they don't want everyone to know it. But, well, I think we should know it. But then, would you work? You know, do the same things you're doing right now. There's things you're doing right now that you would stop. You know, all these other things that are not accepted. And that's being a kind of a person would let things happen in the future to your children's children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. Things happen, you have to think about them and the things that's going to come to them. And it will come to them if we don't do something. We have to stand up. And there's no one. There has to be a standing out, but it's got to be, it's everyone. You just need that thought, you know? And that's through the news to where you all get it. But then the news is controlled now by the ones that want to block just Christ, this feeling. It's right inside of us. And then the ones that will like to do the dealings, well, let's get something started here because, you know, it's like bombing, blowing up. And said, oh my God, I guess this is it. These guys are getting too smart. Fuck it, I'm pulling the plug. Boom! You know, there's Mars 2. You can't have it. Fuck it. You don't want anybody else get to have it, right? The Dr. Evil. But then it would be self-disrupting of the evil. Just all the caretakers in life with that kind of a pull, anything left would maybe Stone Age. Yeah. Yep, me, sure. It would be Stone Age. And then the survivals as they come through and work into, and they would be having children at some point, but not, depends on the strength of the women. It'd probably be mostly by rape because of the animals, males. And it just that enticement, and it's just not letting into their minds and reasoning thought and have that freedom to where they have this Christ thought and this Christ mind. It's in your body, the sacred oil. And there's behaviors and things that we do that lead to that, and that would lead them to this also, because upcoming and through all this is where your grandchildren and children come out. Well, what will they be grouped in? Would it be like enslavement camp, Nazi kind of a deal, Muslim kind of a deal, making their little slaves, trying to make somebody something, when you could just let out the true word of it and let them become something. And it's with this sacred oil that is given through give and take in the rising and lowering up to the crown and beyond, towards, well, what I've read things, it's like a gong, and it's like a channel that this energy is, when it gets lit up and it lights up and does all this rising, and it's a gong and it connects, and there's a will, and there's a heaven, and there's a stream that's just running through all the time. It's just what are you thinking while it's going by. It's what it gives you to, and those kind of thoughts, those entrainments. If you're trying to do and work some evil, that's just going to fall back on you, and that will be the end to it. No more. And I think that ending of the evil is much better story. And let's see if we can't do it. Because the Stone Age, and the women are not, because they're not animals themselves. And their desires, they see that there's not a much. So how can we, do this and have children? What can we give them? It would be like the end of it. But there would be the need for survival and the hunger and the thirst the body needs. But the things they would eat, they would be, the insects are pretty tough. They would last, and we'd be eating insects. And then from there, you just see how the body goes, and the kosher goes, and whatever, with all the different areas and what there is that we can all eat and share. And China's, I hear they're putting out plastic in the foods and things. I mean, they've been through a lot because of their history. It goes back thousands of years. At least 8, but that's not a maximum. It's probably beyond that. I mean, these people don't have any melatonin in their bodies. They don't tan when they're out in the sun. You ever notice that? That's kind of peculiar. So that kind of says something. But they do have those good things to share, but we just don't get to see them. And one of them I got to share with Falun Gong, Falun Dafa. This is, and you got to be on a path like, wherever you're doing, you're stopping it. You're not, it's like baptism. Your forgiveness, and there needs to be a better moment of that understanding of what that means and is, you know. Because when you start doing this exercise, you can't do the whole thing. And I say exercise, it's just like, it's movements, you know, just slow, holding, and stretching out and release movements. And it just, like, the impulse, it just energizes your whole being. And then when you're doing this standing fallen, when you're holding the wheel, and you just stand there, you can't withstand it. And it's not for everybody because it is so strong. But I tell you, from when I'm holding the fallen in a certain position, my hands are like just a hue of blue all around both. And I could have healed everything, and I can't even limit it to like a mile diameter. It is further than that, much further. It would like go around the entire globe in that kind of a dome of will of the spirit of the sacred seed in our bodies, that it goes down, but it comes back up, and it meets with, and you get this attachment. And it's like, you have to be very careful what you do and how you feel and things, you know. Things that come up, like memories, like in your meditation. And, well, I learned from this person. What is that guy's name? I had a book out here I was reading again because, somebody packed it. This thing's so long, man. I could go out in the house, but, you know. Yeah. There's the Adam and Eve Syndrome. It's by Roy Masters. I really like the book. This got thrown away before. This came up missing. I don't know why, but then you read it and you kind of understand why. And it's pretty rough through the first part of the book because of the intent, and you have to stop sometimes in a paragraph and give it a thought and go back and read that same paragraph again. Don't keep going on because there is so much in that book. And was given to that understanding through his meditation exercises, where you can just free your mind up of these thoughts in the past were like, well, if I would have said, if I would have done, oh my God, it was like, and he said, well, if I should have, you just see that whatever that was, and you don't try to change it. Just don't try to change it. Just let it go. You just see there's the rights and the wrongs, and there's misunderstandings, and some people just so intense with themselves and their whatever it is that they don't feel. Boy, that's a shame. That's a horrible shame. I mean, you should want to know that, because there just isn't nothing else other than. It's not even living outside of it. If you free up your mind and these thoughts, have this ascension, it's really scary because I guess you'd think of something like, up to tricks, But if you don't have any, you're not doing any tricking, then you're such good, cool, sweet, clear water. you know, in this ascension, this sacred oil. Boy. So you got that clear meditation, and you know, you get this, when you do this exercise, it's a slow moving, holding, stretching, release exercise, movements. It's a body, core, enlightening system, you know, and you get where you can hold it the full time with your eyes closed the whole time, from the beginning to end. And you sit down, and there's this meditation exercise you must do. And there's watchers that see this, and you should be able to see them when you do, because they know, they understand the intent. And if there's any wrong, and like, well, if I could, you know, it's not gonna make it. That's all there is to that. I'm getting a little dry here. I'm supposed to be out in the sun. I'm thinking about playing golf. Too bad those new shoes are here. I'd really like to tell you about them, but just have to wait. I can imagine it, but I'm not going to say nothing, because if they work pretty good, I'll get another pair of them. And then maybe one more. Just because the wear, you know, and I don't know about the spikes and any of that stuff. It was a design that I'm looking for, and that was it. But don't get me started on golf. I already warned you once. Well, I gotta go out and check and get my suntan and love out there to everybody in this sacred oil. It's really something. The Roy Masters and meditation that ties in with that. The fallen gong that fills you with this energy. The fallen gong, this stream that connects it. Because of this cut off, like original sin kind of a thing, I guess you could say. And you go into, need to be reborn somehow to get to this spiritual side, this growth in the, and religiously soulful beings, you know. It's not, well, this is the name of my, you know, this is my, you know, no, this is like doing this. Well, wait a minute, you know, we get this guy over here too, because, you know, hey, wait a minute, there's some of this is, okay, yeah. Just can't be like that, you know. Wow. She just travels off too, and you know, 'cause I got stuff I need to go be doing right now. Just thoughts in the day. I was a little upset earlier where I was just gonna forget I'm not gonna go, but maybe I will. But I can still go either way. I like golf, but don't get me started on that. It's just that I've learned so much. Shouldn't have got me started on that. And I've been able to put this together even through healing parts of my body and this and that. But, ooh. And they've torn up the course where I played. What did I do to that course? That's where I honed up all those rough edges, dialing in, you know. And I still like to do that. Do another comeback. Don't get me started. Told you, too late. No, I gotta go outside, I really do. Get some sun. And I'll start the music now. I got this YouTube thing that plays, and I know when a certain song starts that's how much time to flip. And then when that's over, come inside. Adios. Peace out.